wanted to start with a quote. Edgar Degas said, "I must impress upon myself that I know nothing at all, for it is the only way to progress." So if you go into something and say, "I know nothing," then you can make good progress. And I think you've seen this because I've sent it around, but this is the sap buckets. One of the toughest things for me to decide was which is lighter, the tree or the background trees.
Yes.
And I've decided that I've just made the decision that the tree is lighter. And those background trees, even though they're kind of white and devoid of any foliage, they're going to be darker. I have to make that decision and stick to it. Otherwise, my values are going to get all messed up. And the other challenge today is using 3 colors. And I gave you 6 different options. And I'm just because I'm trying to make myself work hard, I'm picking colors I usually don't use. I've got a Windsor blue, which is, or phthalo blue. I've got a burnt umber, which is different than burnt sienna, and a cadmium red, which is a very opaque red, not like alizarin or like Windsor red. This one has a little more sediment into it, so it's got a little more body. I don't use it very much because it's not transparent. But when you're making grays, sometimes you need to get a combination of transparent color, which is the Windsor blue and the burnt umber, and then a more sedimentary color, the red. And those colors are, the blue's up here, the red is over there, and the burnt umber is over here. So the burnt umber is substituting for my yellow. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, as usual, we paint light to dark. So everything that's on the lighter side, I'm going to put, let me put a little bit of color on there so you can, all of you at home can see it. I'm painting the entire, even into the sap buckets, because those are fairly light. Come on. Ugh. So I have my biggest brush going here. I'm doing the sap buckets. And everything else will be darker. Oh, well, except for the church itself. Everything else will be darker than this light wash here. This is where you say, geez, how much water do you use? Well, if I'm covering this much area, I need a lot of water. All right, here we go. Now, I'm also going to use that light tone for the road. I will darken this up, the road, maybe a little bit later on, but this is mostly just water. And here's part of the road here. And the road comes off from on either side of the tree. There's sort of a triangle of roads that come, there's a road that comes from the left or from the right, and then they both turn toward the bridge. So you get this sort of triangle of stuff. Okay, what else do I? Oh, let's not forget a little piece of road way in the background where and I'm just using this as a placeholder so I don't forget and cover that over, and I don't know what a disaster that would be. Oh dear. Okay. So I'm painting around that little parking lot area. Now, okay, so now I'm going to go back into the tree with the burnt umber is going to be my yellow. Whew, God, look at that. I put way too much on my thing. Okay. Okay, and I see, let's get a little bit more red in there. I see the middle of this tree being fairly warm. Let's get a little more red into it. I'm going around the cans now. This is still just very wet and wet. And then I'm going to add some blue to that, because on this side it's darker, so I may as well establish some of that dark early on. There's a little bit of that. It looks really, really dark, doesn't it? I'm going around that thing, that bucket. And I think you all agree there's darker on the left side. The light is coming from the right, from this side. So the left side of the tree is a little bit darker. Oh, I didn't get some. Pull that in there. Okay, and notice it's a little bit darker up in here too. On the opposite side, I think there's some dark crevices in the tree bark. This is all very wet into wet, and I'm going to throw a few, oh boy, a few lines like this. Let's get a little more blue into it. Let's get a little more red. Again, I'm jumping red, blue, and then my yellow.
Ned, are you mixing your colors on your palette or just on the paper?
On the palette a little bit, yes. No, more on the palette.
Thanks.
Okay. And this is not my last pass at these this bark stuff. It's just an early. I see a nice dark. Oops, maybe too dark down there. I see this V shape down in here up against this, and underneath that bucket, fairly dark. Okay, and a few lights and darks up this way. And all right, and I'm gonna leave that and let you guys catch up to me. I'm seeing a little bit of seep going into the top of that can. I wanna keep that can light, so I'm just gonna blot where some of that color has seeped onto that top, and I'm taking it away. And there we go. Okay, stop there. Again, whatever red, yellow, and blue you've decided. I've got a little bit more warmth in the middle of this tree. Yeah. I may do, while this is still setting up, I may do a little bit of the road and add a little bit of red to it. Just, I'll keep it pale. Let's go. Okay, that initial bit of road was just the water, which I tinted so you could see it, but I think I wanted a little bit stronger tone, so I'm Going back there with the blue and red. And careful to go around those snowbanks. Undulating in here, okay. That was about 8 minutes worth of painting, 7 minutes. Okay, Elise just joined us, so I will explain again what I did. Elise, I put in water over the tree trunk and the roads, and then
Buckets.
and the buckets, yep, and then put more warmer tones. I'm using a well, I'll just say red, yellow, and blue because you guys can all pick your own red, yellows, and blues. I put the red and yellows in here to make it warmer. I added some blue on the edges to make it a little bit more in shadow. And I added a little red and blue to make a dirty purple for the road. All right, I'm getting ready to move into the next color, or the next section. And I think what I'll do next is that the tawny grass that has shows through the melting snow, and it's got these irregular patterns. There's a lot of it in the foreground, and there's some in that field near the church. And the other thing is, and I do see that as darker than the tree trunk. But the other thing is, you want to try to avoid painting near areas that are already wet. So if the tree trunk is wet, you don't want to get too close to that because things will seep. But anyway, again, now for me, what is this? My yellow today is burnt umber, which is jeepers. Burnt umber. I don't really think of that as a yellow, but this is the yellow that I've chosen for myself. There it is. But when I lighten it up, here we go. Anybody else would say, oh, that's brown, like Crayola colors. That's brown. I'm going around the base of the church, around that tree by a little bit. I'm going to pull this out along here. I'm creating some sort of raggedy edges. Here's a little bit. Here, a little chunk, I don't really know. And another one.
And Ed, your picture went vertical.
Sideways? Shit,
Yeah.
excuse me. So Bill, I never was able to get that thing to move.
Yeah, I tried that on mine also, and it like locked it out of the.
Okay,
They were all together.
am I getting it back, Emil?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's
Yeah, looks good. Looks good now.
Back to the speaker. Okay, back to my yellow. I really hate stopping in the middle of a thing, but thanks, Emil, that's good. And then this area here, again, look at the picture. It's really irregular. Parts of it go up. This goes down to a snow line right about here, then it goes up. There we go. And maybe I'll use a little bit of dry brush out right at the edge. Just coursing that over with just very little bit of color on there to create that ragged look. Okay, load the brush up and I'll do, where is that gonna have a little bit more? I'm gonna have a little bit more back in here.
And that's straight up burn umber out of the tube.
Yep. It could be raw sienna for some people. And this is an area which we don't see in the photograph because it's covered by a building, an old school building, actually. But I'm just saying, okay, there's snow, then the middle of the field is has melted snow. Now, we don't have anything there. Maybe we have a little bit of there. And then down here, we go around this. And we go around the snowbank that's sitting there, wasting away. Again, this is not a long or tricky section. Snowbank down here. Leave that there. And where's my okay, here we go. I have a little snow there. Oh, let's get a little more color. I gotta get more water just to be able to make this thing flow. Now I'm going around the snow that I see there. And now we just go a little bit crazy here. I don't want to leave any white up against the tree trunk. That would be bad. But I'm leaving just some gaps here. So how much do I leave? How much is believable? That looks all right.
Taking pictures of an
Empty classroom.
empty class.
Okay, so that's just the tawny grass. I don't think there's much else I want to do right now. And I'll just let that sit. We'll get, and then after this, we'll get into the church and the bridge. We're trying to go into dry areas next, but I'll let you throw in the grasses, the lawn. How are we doing? It's very hard for me to know when to start the next section.
You can start.
Okay, get rid of that little white down next to the tree trunk.
Because you were smudging.
I'll bug you later on.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Because this is like, you're using the 14 by 20 canvas and I'm using the 16 by 20. So it's like I had to add
Oh
top
yeah.
and bottom.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to move on to the next step, which will be I just want to put a little bit of tone. We have the cans are tinted with the little bit of water I put in the blue, but I want to add a mid-tone to that. So I'm going to get a little bit of red and blue. And I'm just going to see how this works here. I reserve the right to come back in here with even a darker color later on. Boom. So right under the cap. There we go. And I'll just pull this color down here. And now watch my little trick here. I'm taking pure water and I'm blending it across so that it's darker on the left, but then I'm just blending it across. Do the same thing over on the other one. I'm leaving the top the same. I kind of like that top being light. Inside here is dark. Ooh, sticks out a little bit, comes back. We go in there. And then right against the can, I'm going to put my colors. Put in that line. Put in that line, put in this line, but then I'm going to take this right here and just blend it. So the color, get that line back in there. There we go. Okay, so just got just a little bit of dark on the left side of those cans. Okay, now the real thing I want to get into is this darn church. So let's get going on that. Slightly smaller brush because we're dealing with. So I'll take my blue, and it's fairly light. And as Barb said, it's pretty close to the road color. Boom. Do the roof. This is just paint by number. A little bit of roof action there. I'm going to put a little bit of hint of, there's a shadow just below the E right there. Put a little bit of a shadow down there. Then what? I'm going to add a little bit of my yellowy color because I see kind of a greenish tone on this little roof here. Oh boy. Okay, let's put that little window up there. As long as I have this color, I'm going to make the shutters a little bit of blue, a little bit of yellow. So, I mean, it's not going to look like springtime green. And then I'm going to do the darks of the windows. Again, we'll get a little more blue in that one. Steady brushwork, holy smokes. And let's see, I'm going to put in a little bit of a doorway here. Darken this little piece under here. That shadow line. Then there's a little shadow line way down here, right above the foundation. Okay, done that. Now we'll get into this bridge. I'm going to paint the side of it and the front of it with a dirty red. It's got a little bit of blue in it. There we go, and I may as well take that same color and make put that car in there. Looks like a loaf of bread right now. And and I'll put a little bit of that roof. There we go. God. Okay, I'm tempted to put in the dark inside that, inside the shadow part of inside there, but I'm afraid it's going to bleed, so I'm going to leave that. And bluish roof, windows, yellow, green. Yeah, I'm not going to do the shadow from the tower. Oh yeah. And I'll do a little bit, just like we had in another, a little hint of a shadow that the tower makes on the roof. Give that a little bit of dimension.
When there's sunshine.
Right. And maybe a little bit of line. Under there. Yeah, okay, leave well enough alone. Okay, a little bit of cans, then the church and bridge. And off you go. And I'm changing my water for the second time I just want to try to make sure I keep things clean. Wow. I am really annoyed at that window. I got it all.
No, yeah, I'm interested in seeing how you're going to fix that.
Yeah, the shutters blended in with the thing, so I'm putting water on here and trying to take it down, back down to white, though I can never get it quite to white. And I'm gonna let it dry, and I'll go back in and try again. Wow. Okay, I tried to erase that window because it got too, I screwed it up. I screwed it
It's good to see the teacher correct his mistake.
up.
I had the feeling we're going to be visiting that church windows a few times.
I'm just happy to see he occasionally makes a mistake. Sorry, Ned.
Yeah. All you guys sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for me to screw up. All right.
I have to second that too.
All right. The next section I'm going to do is, well, the most untouched area is the sky and that distant hillside. And this is about half the painting is going to be in this next step. Okay. So I'm going to wet all this right down to the edge of the road down here. So I'm taking what will be my sky, and I'm going to pull it down right into and you'll notice I put a little bit of sky on the left side of the tree because it looked a little awkward for it to only be a little bit of triangle on the right. Okay. Going around the church. Again, this would normally just be clear water. I got some blue in it so that you can see it.
We're just putting blue in there for the home audience.
For the home audience, yep. Around the church, across the top of the church, and right around the steeple. It's a little bit tricky because I want to keep a couple of those. I noticed that the distance between the steeples is a wide part there, and then little skinny parts on either side. So, okay, take that over with that brush. Again, right up to the. Okay, now I want a little bit of blue inside there. Okay, so now I need to get the sky color in. I mean, let's get going here. I'm taking the pure blue, maybe with a little bit of that red. Yeah, because if it's too blue, it's not going to look like a winter sky. Okay, here we go. Blue. Come on, here we go. That's a nice, ooh, look at that. That phthalo blue is really, ooh, boy, it's a nice, strong. Oh, somebody's beeping me. Oh, well, I'll keep going. Somebody's trying to call me, Bill. That stinks. Okay, and I'm taking this blue, and I'm just feathering it down. I don't want it as strong down here. So I'm just went sideways again. Darn it.
I continue with the paint if you
You know, what happens is when I get a phone call, which I just did from the spam thing, it makes this turn. So here we go again. Thank you, Barbara. Okay, leave that there. Okay, and I've left this. Okay, and I've just faded it out. Now, I need to get the tree line. So it's going to be darker than the sky, but warmer. I'm adding red into this. I'm adding a little bit of yellow. Oh boy, what's that look like? I want the warmth to come out. So here we go. Boom. I'm really not interested in having a real sharp edges up there because it's like I can't really see those trees. Boom, 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 boom. But I do want that warmth. Come on, keep that. I want that red to show through. There we go.
Well, just the way you're mixing it.
And then down in here, I don't know, there's a little bit of, well, wait a minute. While I've got that color on one side, let's make sure I get the other. Go around that can. Again, with red, let's get that yellow going in here. And with some areas that look almost, okay, well, I got that going. Again, this area I need my smaller brush, but this is all fairly wet, so. Okay, good. Pull this on down. Linda, I just got a hair in my wash. Oh my God. This could be the end of it. Okay, bring it right down to that road.
Where's this church?
It's in West Arlington.
West Arlington, Vermont.
And right here, there's a little bit of sort of snowy stuff that shows there. So put a little bit of water there, but then on either side of it, I'm not sure I can really differentiate that. Right down to the road. I'll take my small brush and do inside the bridge. And this side needs a little bit more of that. Let's get a little more red up in here. Okay. I'm not sure that little blush of white came out all that well. Like it's snow and, you know, there's some snow showing through in a few areas. I don't know if that's okay, good. Leave it like that. Maybe a couple places up there might have some snow. I don't know. No, I can do that. All right, so this is one big tone over with trying to get the warmth of the. I kind of see the trees as having some warmth because there's usually some buds that may be coming in just another 30 days, and they're a little bit on the red side, even though the trees look like sticks and look like dead, but there's a little bit of growth inside those buds. So that's why I've a little warmed it up a little bit. This is yellowy, blue, and this is got some red in it. Okay, work on that. That's half the painting right there. Half the square footage at least.
Do. Clouds. So then for the background, you started adding the red.
Yep. And I'm
But you're also using the burnt umber.
a little burn number. The yellow.
Yes, today's yellow.
Uh-oh, what
Ooh,
was
that
that?
sounded cool.
Was somebody gargling?
Somebody's cell phone. And while you guys were painting away, I just repainted that whole mountainside a little bit darker. I mean, well, it was, I guess, a lot darker. It was just, it was just looking a little too insipid.
Word of the day.
Yeah. Okay. There's still something coming out of the sky, Bill. Cheapers.
Huh?
Snow has started up again.
It's supposed to. you put tires on your car yet?
No, I haven't touched with the car. All we have left is details of the car, the inside of the bridge, the inside of the sap buckets, and some of the texture on the tree.
Loosely translated, you're on time.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well.
You got that, audience? We're on time. You want, which drawer you want? Push. You open that. That's a few months ago when you and I were playing with it. Oh, we gotta fix that thing?
Yeah, not much. All right, I'm ready to start on some details. I'm going to restate some of the darks in the cans, and then the next most important thing will be to get the texture of the tree bark. So a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, and let's see how we do here. I told you I would go back into these things, didn't I?
I'm gonna leave it all that alone for a while.
Okay. This has to be darker than the background. Throw this right in. Again, this side is pretty dark, so I'm going to go back into it with another shadow. Pull out a little bit of, again, I feel like I'm doing this twice, but now that I've got that dark behind it, these need to be darker. Okay. Okay, now for the bark sections, I'm going to take the blue and the red and get some of this burnt umber off. Ooh, look how dark how that is. Okay, and I see it's dark, so there it goes. Right against the thing, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. There's this dark section that goes right down. Boy, I need this red to come out. This blue is so, for me, the phthalo blue is so strong that the reds and yellows drop out pretty quickly. There we go. Make this a little bit raggedy. And we'll go like this. Uh-oh, what's happening? Emil, are you talking?
Nope, I'm muted.
Okay. And you can see that I'm using my largest brush here. Creating some okay. I'm looking up into my come on, let's get that red back in there. I may as well have some of the darkest right against the can, so it jumps out at you. Even though in the picture it's maybe not. This looks a little like it's got too much. Okay. Now against the can down here, pretty darn dark. This is the shadow.
The shadow.
The shadow nose goes up into there, and then these things pull down. They're really strong. Get that kind of yellow color down in here. Right against at the edge of this thing, that's the dark. So the darkest colors you got, right at the edge of the tree. Okay. And did you know that as a tree ages, it twists?
Yeah. Funny you should mention that. So do humans.
Well, yeah, yeah. The older it is, like apple trees, the more twist you get in their trunks. This doesn't have a lot of it, but there's a little bit of a twist this way. Any of you know Clifford Still, the abstract painter? It sort of reminds me of some of his.
Clifford?
Clifford Still, yeah.
Clifford Still. Yeah?
Yeah. Up here, not a lot up in this area. And then over here, right in that upper right corner of the tree, there's definitely a darker area. I'll not get that dark. Yeah, maybe I'll try to bring some Clifford Still in for the critique.
Yeah. Yeah. Or use it to bring AI, you know?
Okay, and in the bottom left corner, there's a pretty strong. Again, I'm not trying to be slavish to this, the trunk shapes, though nature can sometimes create more interesting shapes than I could myself.
Nature does real cool abstracting too.
Yeah. And so here's the shadow of the bucket. It makes kind of a curved line there, but then right out of it are a couple of and not all of these okay, they don't all have to be dark, they could be medium tones too. Oops. So this area looks pretty untouched. I'm going to leave that. This looks too bright down here, so let me just. Okay, I think I'm going to leave well enough alone right there. We'll go back and do some details in the bridge and the car and things, but I think I'll leave that tree. I like the warmth of this side, and I like some of the darks on that side. More darks on this side, a little bit more open here. And see what you can do. Have some fun with that. All right, I'm gonna do just the details in the car and the bridge, and then I'll do the shadows on the ground, and then we'll be about done then. So this will be a short. Okay, get a little bit of red into that. So the dark inside of the bridge has a really dark tone in there. And then across the deck of the bridge, it's in shadow also, but with a little hint of the grass or the road on the other side. Now this side of the bridge is darker. Pulling that down. I'm putting a line up here. This is a little shadow line over under the roof. And then right down here, the shadow of the bridge makes on the snow next to it. It just makes this look a little more three-dimensional back there. It's kind of like this little shadow up here. Keeping that three-dimensional. And the car, we'll add a little bit of, let's get that there. Where do we want the, okay, I put the wheel in the wrong place. That's a good start. There's one there. There's one there. And there's a little bit of hint of window there. There's a line under the car indicating the shadow there. Okay, it's the station wagon. A little dot near the front by the driver's window, and then a little dot in the back for the passenger compartment. And we'll leave that as it is. Not too much. The last step we'll be putting in some of these tree shadows. And that'll bring us right to the hour.
Don't forget your tree next to the building.
Well, yeah, true. Yep, the distant tree by the church. Yep, I got it. Got it, Barb. Thanks. Okay, so Bill, I can feel air coming out of here, but I don't know if it's
Oh, they might have gotten it fixed.
well, I don't know if it's hot here. We'll see.
Oh, okay, then, yeah, no.
Okay. 64 in here, which is fine. All right, I'm gonna make a couple of lines with my chisel brush to lift out a few lines of this tree, and I'll be going back into this later, but I want to get these lines in first. So I'm lifting out I'm gonna have a branch come across the so just lifting out a few lines here in preparation for a few more darks. Okay, so now we're ready for the shadows of the trees that cross the road, cross the snow. And what you're gonna do is the shadows will go straight across the snow, and then they'll go up, and then they'll continue on the other side, offset. So let me show you how that works. Yeah. All right. So a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. What brush should I be using? God, maybe I'll use that chisel brush. Maybe I'll use I'm going to use this big brush. Big area. All right, so. Snow, then straight, then up, over, and down the snow, down here, up over, snow, down, like this. And then a little bit of so here we go along here, over the top, and then there. There's a line here. Over the top, and go in there.
And who did you say that watercolor painter was? Last name Still?
Oh, it wasn't a watercolor painter, it's an abstract painter. Clifford Still. All right. There's that, around that. There. Over the snowbank, then straighten out. And then pick up on the other side of the tawny grass. See how it's sort of offset a little bit? Coming up, around, over the snowbank. Yeah, I hate going back into a wash. Really, it always looks, never looks as good. But a little bit branches there. And then, not my favorite little thing to do, get a little bit of splatter. Little texture in that country road. Maybe just a little bit of wet brush, get some of those splatters. Again, we're trying to make this, the texture of this road Okay, so we'll go back into that tree in a few minutes, but why don't you do some shadows, and then we'll finish up with that little tree. Restating the darks inside the cans.
Oh, cool, we're getting splotches.
Oh, yeah, we're getting some splatters in there.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know, is there anything more to do? I gotta do this tree in the background with that.
We got the splatters.
Does this look like it goes whoop, 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 whoop?
Yes, the definitely the left ones.
Yeah. All right. On that distant tree.
As a matter of fact, without those shadows, you don't really have any idea what the contour of the land is.
Right, right. And just on the left side of this tree, along some of those branches that I lifted out, there's a splatter that got up there. And of course, this little tree in the background is going to have a shadow too. And the back of the church has a little bit of a shadow. And without getting too cliche, I may put a little bit of brown spatter down in this area. And down here as well.
Is that the sunshine coming out?
Really?
Let the sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some sun coming out.
Get your sleds out.
Dee doodly doo, doo doo doo.
It's snowing where I am.
Where are you, Alan? Is that you?
Yep.
Wow. It's up on top of the hill. Yeah, we got some snow right here in the village. I see it now too.
It's not as convincing as yes.
Snowing over here too. Snowing in homes.
So what's the question? Do you think these cans should be toned down a little bit? I'm just kind of looking at it, and I think maybe they should just a little bit.
I like the shadows. Shadows came in nice. I mean, this should be a little. Just here.
Just gonna tone these cans down a little bit.
Like it?
Leave the top of that light.
You know, I think the top of those cans needs to be toned.
This one I just knocked down.
I think that's what he said he was doing there.
Yep. So I've left a little bit there. I've toned this can down a lot. I've left this one a little bit lighter. Okay, I like that better because the can wants to contrast with the snow behind it. So I've gone back into a couple places a couple times, but can't always hit it right the first time, right? Okay, I'm going to leave well enough alone. There we go. It's 3 minutes of 12. Takes you a while. Ugh. Please, if you're feeling a little bit punky, your concentration is going, just stop. Do the shadows, do the splatters later on. Do some of the touch-ups later on. Don't do too much when you're feeling a little bit tired or your concentration's fading.
Did you ever get heat going?
We have 2 space heaters in the building, so the super brought them along, which is very nice. I did put a little bit of a shadow off this tree going into the distance and a little bit of shadow coming off the church because the sun, again, is coming from the right. Not big shadows, but just a little bit of tone down there to help set it off. And those of you that saw me try to scrape out that window here on the church, I think I solved that problem and put them back in. And nobody's any the wiser.
Ned, can you say again what color you used on that small tree to the left of the church?
I lifted out with my chisel brush and got the light back, and then I just used my what for me is the yellow, but it's really a burnt umber, to just to outline them a little bit.
Thank you.
Yep. was I gonna do? Oh, I know, right down the bottom here. So Doug, did you see how I solved my window problem?
Not completely.
Okay, I only put one shutter in between the two that are side by side.
Oh, right, yeah, oh, one shutter, oh, okay.
Now, hopefully nobody even notices, but you know, I just it was more of a drawing problem. I just crammed in too much, and I thought the heck with it. I'm not gonna try to squeeze all that in there.
Oh, it works, it works.
Nobody's gonna be counting shutters, are they?
Ellen will count shutters.
Thank you, Ned, I gotta leave.
Yes, that's fine. Sharon, did you stay up and watch all the games yesterday?
No, I
What?
gave up after the first one. I was tired. But, good thing we woke up this morning to no heat.
Oh, you did. What was the problem?
I don't know. We're not sure Taylor's coming, but we do have a wood stove, so I've been tending that as my son-in-law is getting the snow taken away.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not good.
So I've been running back and forth from the painting, just checking on the wood stove.
Yeah. Got it. All right.
Thank
Well, hey, Sharon, what colors did you pick?
Alizarin,
Yep.
ultramarine, and burnt sienna, and raw sienna.
Raw sand. Okay, good.
And I like them. I'm going slow, but I like those three colors.
Yeah. They are those are often my go-to. That's good. Great. Good for you. Okay. We'll catch up with you at the critique.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ned, I suggest perhaps when people send their pictures to you, they should mention which three colors they used.
Yeah.
Because
What?
I think even if some of us use the same colors, it's going to look really different.
Right. I think probably when we're talking about it, we can get into that because I don't think I want to get into labeling each slide with the color, but yeah, keep track of what colors you've used so that you can share that with us, with all of us. I like that phthalo makes a nice blue. All right, I'm going to stop the recording because I don't think there's much.
Recording stopped.
And any of you are welcome to either ask questions or just log off as the time goes.
Thank you, Ned.
Okay, Sheila.
All right.
Great to have you.
Try to get something done. It's not. Was one of the goals to make apparent what three colors we used?
Yeah.
That doesn't. I can't. Looking at your painting, I really can't tell what you used.
Well, at the beginning, I explained I did use. I'll put it up in the picture here.
Burnt umber.
I used.
French, ultra, and red,
No.
and
No, I used Windsor, which I rarely use it.
Windsor.
Yeah, so I was forcing myself to use a color I don't use. Windsor blue.
Windsor is it's difficult. That's
Ugh.
tough to use.
Then burnt umber was my yellow,
umber.
and then cadmium.
And cad.
And usually, as you know, I don't use the cad because it's I've been using more of the staining colors like the Windsor red. But this triad was recommended to me, so I thought, okay, if somebody else uses it, I'll give it a try.
Okay, very good.
What did you use,
Nice
Sheila?
painting.
What did you use, Sheila?
I haven't really started. I mean, I have some complications here. I haven't really started. And I had to come off the class for a few minutes. Anyway,
Okay. All right. Good.
Thank you very much, Ned.
All right, Sheila. See you later.
All right, take care.
Good.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Okay, Bronwyn.
Bye, Bill.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ned.
Sure, Barbara.
Enjoy the snow.
All right, Karen. You too.
Painting, right?
Take care, Karen. See you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you, Ned. Great class.
Okay, good. And I'm going to take a picture and send it to you in a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Good, Emil. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Signing off.